Somewhere right now, a hospital is faxing your medical records to another hospital on purpose in 2026. If that sentence made you laugh or scream or both, stay right here. Stay right here. I got you. Welcome back to the Balance HI podcast, the show where healthcare meets chaos, where data meets drama, and where I tell you the real stories your EMR vendor prays you will never hear. I'm your host, Samie. And today, we're talking about the messiest, pettiest, most dramatic relationship in all of healthcare: interoperability. The "I'll call you right back" friend who never calls back. The situationship of health tech, two systems that got legally bounded on day one and still haven't learned how to talk to each other. It's giving Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, zero chemistry, camera rolling. It's giving Ross and Rachel. We're on a break. Except the break has lasted 20 years and cost the US healthcare system billions of dollars. Today, we're breaking down why interoperability is a mess and why it's beautiful anyway. Why it made headlines, made lawsuits, and made grown executives cry in a disposition. And why health information professionals are the only ones in the building holding the tissues to the receipts and the emotional stability of the entire industry. Grab a drink. This one's spicy. Let's go. Forget the O&C definition. Forget the vendor buzzwords. Here's the real one. If you have ever filled out the same paperwork at 3 different offices with the same health system, you already understand interoperability better than most executives do. If you have ever been asked, do you have your own records while sitting inside the hospital that created those records? Same thing. Interoperability is what happens when healthcare systems try to talk to each other and instead produce 17 versions of the same problem. It's 2 people texting from different planets. You're from Mars, I'm from Venus. Full severance energy. You're innie and you're outie, sharing zero memories. It's Siri talking to Alexa, and neither one admitting they misunderstood. It's a group chat where half of the members are on iMessage and half are stuck in the green bubble forever. Interoperability was sold to the hospital like a Fire Festival pitch deck. Seamless data, sharing instant records, no more duplicates. What a dream, huh? Providers will have the full patient picture. What we got instead? The cheese sandwich in a styrofoam box. And nobody wants to admit it on camera. If EMR systems were a TV franchise, it would be part of my favorite shows, Succession, and part Game of Thrones. Epic is the Iron Throne. Everyone wants it. Everybody complains about it. Everybody still fights to sit in that chair. Oracle Health, formerly Cerner, is the old money. the Lannister energy of healthcare IT. Complex, political, always announcing a new acquisition. Well, we have Meditech. Meditech is the Stark family. Reliable, traditional, somehow always still standing at the end of the season. It's a miracle. Athena Health is like Grand Stark of the group. Knows everything, floats around, answers your questions with a riddle. ECW, eClinical Works. It's like Daenerys, hot and cold, sometimes brilliant, sometimes burns the whole city down and calls it innovation. All Scripts. It's that character who changes their name halfway through the season and expects everyone to keep up. And the smaller region EMRs, they're the extras. You know, they're like in the background to every episode, doing real work and somehow never getting a single credit line. Shout out to the extras. And interoperability itself. That's their variant nobody can predict. Every time you think you've patched it up, it multiplies into new patterns, new problems, into different interface engines. And here's the part that stings a little. Some countries are already living in the glow up phase or montage. Estonia, I hope I pronounced that right, built a nationwide digital health record system years ago where patients' data follows them to any provider in the country automatically. How do I sign up? The UK's NHS has its own version with a single patient number tying records together across entire systems. Please sign me up. Sign me up. Meanwhile, good old America, the US has the biggest healthcare economy on the planet, and we're still asking patients to remember which portal their MRI is sitting in. It's giving small market teams with a superstar budget that somehow still can make the playoffs. We spend more on healthcare than any country on earth. And we still cannot guarantee your own doctor's office can see your labs from last month. Healthcare wants interoperability to be When Harry Met Sally. Classic. What we got is one epic Met Oracle, and absolutely nothing happened. Vendors promise it will be like the Notebook. It was always you. It was always you. We were meant to share data. Reality? The reality. They forgot each other every time there's a software patch. Bridgerton, another fave, promises a beautiful union, and families negotiate alliances. A contract gets signed, then the groom doesn't show up to the wedding. That's your health information exchange, HIE. Here's a music history detour for you, because every pop music understands this pain. Gautier, somebody that I used to know, spent 8 weeks at number 1 in 2012. A whole song about two people who used to be connected and now cannot communicate at all. That's not a breakup anthem. Guess what? That's health information exchange. Adele, Someone Like You. Also about a connection that used to work and doesn't anymore. Also weirdly, also interoperability. Taylor Swift, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. Hit number 1 in 2012 as well. Coincidence? Healthcare systems Please explain yourselves. Even Feltwood Max, Go Your Own Way, released back in 1977, it's basically two systems that used to run on the same platform and now refuses to sync data ever again. 50 years later, and the industry is still writing the same breakup songs, and honestly, only Murders in the Building sums up the patient experience perfectly. The TV show. Okay. 3 different people, 3 different theories, all convinced they're solving the same case. Except in healthcare, it's 3 different systems, all convinced they have the correct version of your chart. Let's talk about the real reason interoperability struggles, the fax machines. In 2026, we have AI writing screenplays. We have self-driving cars. And somewhere in America right now, the hospital is faxing a discharge summary. Fax is the Thanos of health tech. Snap and half the pages jam. I couldn't even get that out. Half the pages jam. Snap, the whole workflow depends on a machine invented in the 1980s. Fax is the Voldemort of healthcare. He who must not be named, but still runs the entire referral process. And hospitals keep it running like it's the hero of the story, when it is objectively the villain. The villain arc nobody wants to end. Here's a little origin story for you, because every villain needs one. Back in 2009, Congress passed the HITECH Act, and it pushed billions of dollars in incentive payment towards hospitals and doctors adopting electronic health records, EHR. It worked, sort of. Adoption of EHRs shot up across the country within a few years. But here's the plot hole nobody accounted for. Congress paid hospitals to go digital. Nobody made those digital systems required to actually talk to each other. You see? So we ended up with thousands of hospitals, all digital, all incompatible. It's like handing everyone in the country a phone and forgetting to agree on a single phone number system. Everyone showed up to the party. Nobody exchanged contact information. The single gap in the original policy is the reason why we're still fighting these battles more than 15 years later. It's a great reminder that good intentions and good funding does not automatically equal good systems. I wrote Digital Health Navigator for health information professionals, coders, informatic enthusiasts, compliance leaders, anyone sitting on data that runs modern healthcare who are ready to stop being invisible and start being indispensable. This book is your roadmap and how the future proofs your career as AI reshapes health records. How to speak the language of leadership so you get promoted, not passed over. How to turn technical expertise into executive influence. Because the professionals who master health data today are the ones running departments tomorrow. This industry is moving fast, and there's a lane wide open for people willing to lead. Digital Health Navigator is your playbook to go from operator to leader. Grab your copy, navigate your future. And we're back. Now let's talk about patient matching. Favorite topic, Healthcare most chaotic subplot. It's the guess who of medical records. It's catfishing, but the profile is chart with the wrong birthday. Matching two patient records that should be the same person is somehow harder than finding a match on a reality dating show. And the reality dating show has 90% breakup rate within a year. So that's saying a lot. Why does this happen? Non-universal patient identifier in the US. Congress actually banned federal funding for a unique patient identifier back in 1998. Tucked it into an appropriation bill. That's not a joke. That's real legislative history. It's been debated in Congress for over 2 decades. It still hasn't fully changed. So instead, we guess. Guess the name, guess the date of birth, guess their address, guess their insurance. All of which change constantly, right? In healthcare, versions of trying to identify someone by their old MySpace profile. That's what it feels like. When patient matching fails at scale, it's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Wrong charts mean wrong allergies, wrong medications, wrong surgeries. Picture the Real Housewives reunion, except instead of Andy Cohen asking who said what, it's a nurse asking which Maria Garcia actually has the penicillin allergy. And there are 4 of them in the system. Guess what? Born in the same year, living in the same zip code. None of them talking to each other because none of them know the other 3 exist. That's not comedy. That's not comedy. Once someone is in the operating room. I wouldn't find that funny. Here's where this stops being funny for a second. Because bad data sharing doesn't just create chaos, it creates courtroom drama. Real courtroom drama. Case 1. Walgreens versus Hinchey? Don't kill me. A pharmacist accessed a customer's prescription history and shared it with her ex, who happened to be the pharmacist's own husband. A jury awarded the customer, of course, $1.4 million. An Indiana appeals court upheld it in 2014. It became one of the first cases in the country where an employer was held liable for an employee's HIPAA violation. One nosy login. Is it worth it? Over $1 million in damages. Case 2, Epic System Corporation versus Tata Consultancy Services. This one is succession level petty. Epic accused Tata's IT consultants of downloading Epic's confidential software documentation. Documentation Tata had access to while helping install Epic's system at Kaiser's. And allegedly using it to build a competing product. Epic is the best. That's what happens. A Wisconsin jury awarded Epic $940 million in 2016, nearly $1 billion, for allegedly copying homework. It got reduced on an appeal to $280 million, then further down over the years. But even the reduced number is one of the largest trade secrets verdict in the US history. That's what I said, always do your homework, don't copy off of each other. Always do your homework. Case 3, the Anthem data breach. In 2015, hackers broke into Anthem's system and stole the personal health information of, drumroll, 78.8 8 million people. Names, date of birth, security numbers, health plan IDs. It remains one of the largest healthcare data breaches in the US history. Anthem eventually settled the class action lawsuit for $115 million, the largest data breach settlement on record at the time. And nearly a decade later, the industry got another wake-up call. Yes, you guessed it. In 2024, a cyber attack on Change Healthcare distributed claims processing and prescription systems for providers and pharmacies across the entire country for weeks. One vendor, one outage, a nationwide ripple effect. And it's not always hackers. Sometimes it's just curiosity. Over the years, multiple hospitals across the country have disciplined or fired staff for snooping into medical records of celebrities and public figures who were admitted as patients. These cases show up again and again in HIPAA enforcement history, proof that access control matters just as much as data sharing does. The lesson is the same every time. Just because you can open the chart doesn't mean you should actually do it. Take a time to pause and think about if I'm doing something illegal or out of compliance. It's giving paparazzi energy, except paparazzi has a login instead of a camera, and the zoom in lens is your entire medical history. Every access log tells a story, and in these cases, the story ended in termination letters, lawsuits, and national headlines. Moral of the story, in healthcare tech, data isn't just data. It's a legal weapon, a national vulnerability, and sometimes a multi-$100 million mistake that I know I cannot afford. So, if interoperability had a horror movie, it would be called The Duplicate MRN. The patient walks in, the system creates 3 of them. Can't get it in real life, 3 versions of me. Different spelling, different birthdays, different visit history. So, as a health information professional, is screaming into the phone like the opening scene of Scream. What's your favorite scary movie? That's not the accent, but whatever, I gave it an accent. What's your favorite scary movie? Duplicate MRNs. The sequel, The Merge Gone Wrong. One patient ends up with 27 allergies, 4 medical histories, and a colonoscopy they never had. Body horror, but it's a data record. And just when you think the franchise is done, here comes the reboot, the unmerge, where 2 patients accidentally gets combined into one, and suddenly a healthy 30-year-old is showing a cardiology history that belongs to somebody's grandfather. Sounds familiar out there? Don't forget to put a comment about this section. Forget Freddy, forget Jason. The real nightmare is Tuesday's registration queue. Okay, time to soften the pettiness, because here's the truth. When interoperability actually works, it is genuinely one of the most powerful tools in modern medicine. A provider pulls a full patient history in seconds. A surgeon sees prior imaging before they even walk in the room. A pharmacist catches a dangerous drug interaction because the data followed the patient instead of staying trapped in one building.
Even an ER doctor
Treating an unconscious patient pulls up their allergy list from a hospital 3 states away in under a minute. A cancer patient moving across the country doesn't have to start their entire treatment history over from scratch because their oncologist can actually see what happened before. It's giving Tony Stark lab. Jarvis pulling every data point instantly. No lag, no facts, no chaos. It's giving Star Trek Medical Bay. One scan, full history, zero guesswork. It's giving Wakanda level infrastructure, vibranium grade data system instead of a dollop energy. Just reminds me of AOL dollop. The version of healthcare isn't science fiction anymore. It's the actual direction we're moving towards. Slowly, awkwardly, but we're moving, okay? The 21st Century Cures Act and information blocking rules were built specifically to push the industry towards this. Real legislation, real teeth, real financial penalties for organizations that intentionally block the sharing of patient data. For the first time, hospital and vendors that deliberately withhold patient data can actually face consequences instead of just strongly worded letter. That's the plot twist we've been waiting seasons for. It's not perfect, but it's the plot twist working on our favor for once. It is, if you look at it. And look, let's talk numbers for a second, because this isn't just a vibes problem. Multiple industry studies estimate that poor interoperability costs the US healthcare systems more than, drumroll, $30 billion every single year. No, that's not a lotto ticket number that I just prize that I just read out. Duplicate testing, manual data entry, denied claims for mismatched records. Some hospitals report duplicate patient records in as many as 1 in 5 charts. That is not a technology inconvenience. That's a line item, a big one, which means every hospital that fixes this isn't just improving care, it's actually protecting its bottom line.
Let me ask you something. Do you actually know what happens to your medical records when you leave the hospital? Who's protecting your health data? Who decides what gets coded, what gets billed, and what gets buried? Yeah, I didn't think so. The podcast where we decode the healthcare system, expose the gaps, and hand you your knowledge you were missing. I'm Samie, Director of Health Information Management, and a professor in the field, and I've taught in classrooms. I live it in the boardroom. So the intel I'm bringing, it is different. We're talking medical coding, health data, privacy, career moves in HIM industry. T. All of it. No fluff, no corporate, just real unfiltered insight from someone who has both the credentials and the receipts. And if you want to go even deeper, I wrote the book, literally. My book is available right now on Amazon and Gumroad. Your go-to guide to breaking into and leveling up in the health information profession. Link in the bio, go get it. Whether you're a patient trying to understand your own record, a professional leveling up, a student breaking into the field, or just a curious human who likes knowing what really is going on behind those hospital doors, Digital Health Navigator was built for you. Hit subscribe, grab the book, share it with somebody who needs it, because Professor is in session. Find Digital Health Navigator whenever you stream your podcasts, and grab the book on Amazon and on Gumroad today.
Every messy show needs someone holding it together behind the scenes. In this industry, that's health information professionals. We are the showrunners, keeping continuity when everyone else forgets what happened 3 episodes ago. We cache the duplicate charts. We reconcile the merge records. We chase down the missing signatures. We are the reason a chaotic system still somehow produces safe, usable patient care. When the cameras aren't rolling, health information management is the department making sure the beautiful mess doesn't become a full-blown catastrophe. That's not a small job. That's the backbone of the entire digital health system. Think about it. Think about it this way. Every lawsuit we just talked about, every duplicate chart, every breach, there was a health information professional somewhere cleaning it up after the fact, and usually preventing 10 more from happening in the first place. We don't get the award show moment. We do not get the highlight reel. We are the reason the finale doesn't end in total chaos. There are hundreds of thousands of health information professionals working in this country right now in coding, in privacy, in release of information, in data governance. Most patients will never know your name, okay? But every single one of them benefits from the work that you do before they even sit in the exam room. That's value. That's not a footnote in the industry. That's the whole plot. The future of interoperability is not a fantasy. It is a trajectory. Digital patient identity tools, AI-assisted matching that catches duplicates before they happen. Please, can we get that tool? Pretty, please, mom and dad. Real-time health information exchange that actually exchange information. Blockchain-backed identity verification. Yes, it's exactly being piloted in healthcare right now. Nationwide health information networks that finally lets a record follow a patient across state lines, across healthcare systems, across insurance changes. Standardized APIs that let apps on your phone pull your own health data the same way you check your bank balance. And yes, AI is already part of this story. Already. Not as some flashy plot twist, but as a quiet assistant flagging a duplicate chart before a nurse ever sees, catching a mix-match birthday before it becomes a mix-match surgery. Use well. AI doesn't replace us, the health information professionals, no. It hands them a flashlight in a very, 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 very dark room. Fewer faxes, ideally Someday, zero faxes. Ideally, fax companies out there is like, don't do it. We got digital fax. I still prefer not to fax. We're not there yet, but every year the industry inches closer to the glow up montage instead of the blooper reel. And when it gets there, health information professionals will be the ones who made it possible. The same people who spent years quietly fixing the mess nobody else wanted to touch. So, here's the final word. Interoperability is messy, it's chaotic, it's occasionally hilarious. It costs companies literally hundreds of millions of dollars in courtrooms. It exposes the personal data of tens of millions of Americans. And it's still somehow one of the most important stories in modern healthcare. Because at the center of its patient safety, accuracy, and access, every duplicate chart we catch is patient protected. Every merged record we clean up is a mistake that never reaches an exam room. Every fax page we still unfortunately dealing with is one more reason this industry needs people who actually understands the mess. We keep showing up for it. We keep fixing it. We keep making the mess mean something. So, if you work in the HIM department, in health IT, in compliance, in revenue cycle, anywhere near this beautiful chaos, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not just cleaning up a mess. You are the reason patients are safer than they were 5 years ago. You are the reason this industry slowly is getting its act together. And here's the opportunity hiding inside all this chaos. Every hospital drowning in duplicate charts, denied claims, and in broken data pipeline needs people who actually understands this mess and can fix it. That's not just job security, that's a growth path, a consulting career, a seat at the table where these decisions get made. The people solving this problem in the next 10 years are going to be some of the most valuable professionals in all of healthcare. And before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me your worst duplicate chart story or your most unhinged fax machine moments. Anything that has to do with interoperability chaos, please drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, they are better than anything a writer's room could come up with. Better than anything. I'm Samie. This is Balance HI Podcast. Oh, before you go, if this episode lit something up in you, do not stop here. Grab my book, Digital Health Navigator, available on Amazon and on Gumroad. This is built for health information professionals and healthcare professionals who wants to lead with confidence in a digital era. It walks you through exactly what we talked about today. Patient matching, data governance, compliance risks, and how to future-proof your career while the industry catches up. It's written for people who are tired of hearing digital transformation as a buzzword and actually wants a roadmap they can use on a Monday morning. And if you want to push this into practice, not just listen to it, you can also grab my HIM toolkit available on Gumroad. It has templates, workflows, real scripts, no fluff. Both links are in the show notes. Go get them right now while it's fresh in your mind. And if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for caring about a topic most people scroll right past. Thank you for being the kind of person who wants to understand the system, not just survive it. That curiosity is actually what this industry needs more of. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and stay balanced.